This is Politics Today. Karibu tena. We are with Aaron Green. Aaron Green, you said you're a community what?
Yes, I work at the community.
Yes.
At different fronts. I do work in climate change and action.
Okay.
Implementation level. Also work at the Kenya Petroleum and Oil Workers Union in the programs and fundraising department.
Oh, great. Programs and fundraising.
Yes,
Our sign language interpreter is Tobias Somondi. We had started talking about Ruto's tour to Nyanza. There was something you're actually explaining. Come on, could you take it on?
Yes, from development perspective and more so from the political lens in Luo Nyanza is something that has been given a lot of prominence to be given direction from Raila Amolo Odinga as the kingpin of the region and also party leader of the most dominant party in that region, ODM. And with the president trying to make inroads in that region, after the election, it saw some members of parliament elected, although some who never managed to get to sail through, joining the president and working under caucus of championing or trying to create an avenue for development because now the region is in opposition zone. And history has it that this community, predominantly Nilotic, always follow one leader. And in this context, their leader is Raila Amolo Odinga. In whatever situation it is politically as at now, to them they still believe that he is their kingpin, he's the direction master, and that is why in those areas they say when Raila Amolo Odinga says we go left, it is left, we go right, it is right. Okay. Yes, yes.
So Ruto's inroad into Nyanza and him being welcomed, he went all the way to Bondo. It means Raila was involved.
You know, one beautiful thing about the people from that region is they're very accommodative. Yes, but excited very easily, but within what they view as their positions in regarding political loyalties, it's something that they're very principled. Ruto getting into Nyanza in his tour and being welcomed, that was very mature of them, I would say that. Yeah. And that's a very good indicator that understanding of governance issues in that region is sinking, and also acknowledging that electioneering period is gone and they are citizens of this country, whether their person is at the helm of the country or is the president or not, they're still entitled to what is called social development that is emanating from the national government. So to them, that was not anything big as such, and we are seeing a lot of political tolerance this time round. And if you see even the elected leaders like the governors, James Orengo of Siaya, where I come from, and also Anyang' Nyong'o and Ochila Yako in Migori, all these people embracing these forums was something that was a serious indicator of maturity and also serious political tolerance. And I believe that this had Raila's understanding. I will not talk about blessing because I'm not sure about it, but I know his understanding, and they listened to him, and he's talked about several, telling them that anything that is coming away from the government is your right. It's not a favor, it's not privilege at all, it's your right. So you need to come out, listen, get to see what is there. Is it right? Is it value for your money? Is it something that is worth it then? And that is why you see this happening. And equally, with the two tiers of governance in our country, national and the county government, you've seen governors from those regions coming into this platforms with the president and telling him they would work with him because the two tiers of governance are joined at the hip. Their functions that are devolved, their functions that are centralized. In as much as they've come out openly in those platforms to tell the president off that on this or specific issues we are not with you. But on these specific issues, it forces us, and
So-
it is our right to work with you.
So actually, development was one of the things that took him there, and there was is it launching or releasing of the MV Uhuru,
Yeah, the MV Uhuru.
too.
Yeah.
Quite some feat that.
You know, in the previous government, in the handshake arrangement,
Yeah.
the handshake brothers already were in this issues more. So the MV Uhuru several times was in Kisumu, trying to open up that region into trying to make Kisumu the getaway to the East African community through the Lake Victoria, and also he really pushed a lot of issues regarding the green economy, where Lake Victoria is being looked at as a very key resource in driving and also facilitating actualization of blue economy within this other regions within Nyanza.
So what you're trying to say, or rather what you're saying is the MV Uhuru had already been launched?
Not
because there was this
there was
argument
some works into
by
it.
some leaders that projects that were launched had already been previously launched.
Yes, there was some works into these things, yeah.
Right.
But you know, governments ever since in African settings, these are always platforms for them to try to galvanize, to show that they're working, but they don't always document that this already is a continuation of what has been done previously. This is also seen even with governors who are elected, who don't look at projects that were initiated by their predecessors as initiatives to be continued, but they would always repackage them and say that they are the ones who are initiating them. So that is commonplace in politics. To me, it's no surprise, and I would not really say anything, because there's a lot of political funds that are intended for that.
Yeah.
But I would say that Nyanza, President Nyanza tour, at some point in this, to him that was a success.
Yeah.
But to the people that he brought into his enclave as liberators of the people of Nyanza from what they perceive or what they say are shackles of poverty by Raila Odinga, was a big failure, because the people themselves, you'd see what they did in these platforms. You take an
You actually
issue,
said it's the Jaramogi family.
that is what has always been peddled. But if you look at the Luo Nyanza so far, I would say, as a practitioner in social change and community development, and an observer of politics, I think this community, the family, has really opened up so many opportunities, opportunities for this region, and the energies and the sacrifices they've made are equally things that should go down in history as things that have really positioned us strongly for some things.
Okay.
Yes.
So there is also the issue of Mudavadi now becoming the super CS. Is Ruto now finally working?
Ruto, as somebody who's been in politics under people who've been dominating the political arena, and like people have been calling them families, and if I would say from what is in the previous campaign tool for the UDA, the dynasties, he's learned a lot from these people. He knows a lot, and one thing that I would bring out openly as an observer in his street, Ruto is very good in politics of antagonism, politics of belittling, politics of undercutting. He's very good in that. And I think...
So who is the undercutting here?
Just from...
Or is it managing somebody?
Yes, that is something that is in politics. If you look at what has been happening, and the more so the reshuffle and these other things, and the Mudavadi and Gachagua issue, people are reading so much, which is very commonplace in political circles.
Okay.
Yes, but William Ruto...
So are you trying to say he's taming Gachagua, or I'm putting words in your mouth?
I would not come out openly, because I'm not so strong a political analyst.
Yeah.
But those are things that do happen in dynamics of an arrangement. The people come with strength, the people come with weaknesses, the people who are too ambitious. So
Right.
there are things that you do. and I think with that, the president, that is William Ruto, having Mudavadi being pushed and given some kind of platforms or dockets that would endear him or give him platforms to move out of the country to represent. It's, I think, to me, it's merit because Musalia Mudavadi has been in this platform for a long time.
Okay.
He's been in this arena for a long time. The things that he understands is more diplomatic. And for Deputy Gachagua, I think it's still a little bit tricky because I think this is also informed by his background in politics. Maybe he's been in.
Now, would I be right to say the DP, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, was good for the season of the elections, but now for the season of work, another team is good for the job. Is that what's happening?
Yes. What you're saying, even me, I would say, just like in community where I come from, they say that those who pitch the tent don't eat inside the tent. It is a very good analogy where it's always there's some people who are very good in pitching the tent.
Right.
Yes, but once the tent is set, there's some people who are not good to be inside the tent. Okay.
Definitely doesn't mean they're not part of the team.
That don't mean they're part of the team. The kind of skill set and experience that is good for certain people. But I think because of the kind of arrangement they had in the UDA and the excitement that they had that they managed to get into this level, is I think hasn't. They still have lots of hangover of that and serious entitlements. And there's some people who are inside them as individuals. They hold certain traits and you cannot take it away from them in whatever spaces you'd place them. They'll still be themselves.
So do we count this as political smartness on William Ruto's side?
Sure.
Or it's just coincidence?
From my observation, I think that is it.
So it's like right now we have to work. And there was a change in the cabinet and many Kenyans are agreeable to the changes, interestingly. Except for Penina Malonza. She was a performer in the Ministry of Tourism.
You see, with what people are talking about as performer, yes, we don't have a laid down job description of what's supposed to do. And just from what they just got into office, I think it's still too early for us to look for certain outcomes because...
No, but certainly tourism was ranked as one of the best performing ministry in the first year. So one would argue, why change her? Maybe...
Do you know, in the first... But the tourism, is never disrupted so much by elections unless there's very extreme post-election issues, okay? But this was so smooth, so it means... the tourism ecosystem wasn't so much affected. So those ripple effects of what was done previously, I presume, are still played into this, and that is what informed that kind of success, or the job card that was used to give that kind of report.
Moses Kuria taken to public service and Rebecca Miano brought to trade, and Mudavadi given foreign affairs. There was this argument, we've heard this in this show before, that Kibaki's cabinet was one of the best we ever had. Of course, there was the talk about Oparanya in planning, Mwiraria in finance, and people were talking about that being a very good team, and people had, accountability. Are we now, finally, we are seeing a team that is going to bring us out of 10 trillion debt?
This country for a long time has had politicians who are much more older, who've always brought in much more mature and seasoned technocrats and diplomats and politicians into cabinet dockets as appointment. This time round, it's a point where William Ruto is trying to bring a little bit much more younger people with little experience and still what they say hot blood, and who want to feel like they're at the top of it, they know it all.
Right.
But that is not what governance and development calls for in running a country, and also running ministries, championing for a utmost development for everybody.
Okay.
So I think still the Kibaki's government, because of the kind of experience and skill set that the people that you've mentioned, their names, were given those positions, knew what they were doing. Then Kibaki himself was somebody who got an understanding of, who'd been in politics for a long time.
And he knew economics.
Yes, he had understood world economics and how a country should be run. And he knew the right people that he put into place, and also the people that were from the other part of the divide in the arrangement in the grand coalition with Raila Odinga. Equally, Raila Odinga placed in the right people whom he felt that had the right skill set, and they were equally sober enough, yes, during that time, as opposed to what is happening today. There's a lot of lack of sobriety because of the ego that we lost, that we won this election again, and so on. So you get to understand those kind of differences in the kind of leaders that we're having today.
So it's like a statement already. It's a message Ruto is, His Excellency, the President Ruto, is passing to his team that it's now time to work, don't you think? It's like a message. Come on, let's get to work.
For now, I think we should just have the wait and see, because there's so many issues around the country that are diversionary, that will not make us get focused to see whether this is being achieved or here and there. We have the Haiti issue, we have the bandits issue, we have
definitely we are going to bring in
the fuel issue.
Yeah,
there's so many there. There's the political issues. There's the UDA in Irangul issues.
And that is exactly what I want to come to.
Bipartisan issues.
Yes. So let me bring you to one of those issues, and let's see whether it's too dangerous or it's fine. UDA politics and the politics of Mount Kenya.
Yes.
Where are we at? Is it that UDA is trying to organize themselves right now and it's too early? And one group, of course, Deputy Rigathi Gachagua, feeling a bit, we have a prime CS now. What's happening in UDA?
UDA, right from their campaign, manifesto was too ambitious and wasn't something that was in touch with the realities. With them, their lens of seeing Kenya was a Kenya that only had this hustler, the people from the lower end of the circle. And I would say that their manifesto was one that was aimed at capturing the conscience of people with little level of understanding and literacy, so that they would not interrogate. They would not interrogate the manifesto and understand the realities. The more the younger people with little levels of education would not see, but the euphoria was there that there's a liberator, the freedom was coming. These were mantras that were used in other areas, but wouldn't work for a country like Kenya that has got great constituencies of younger people, middle class, with jobs, without jobs, those who have gone to school, with jobs, without jobs, older people who are clinging into jobs, into power.
So definitely, are we going to see the leaders or the leaderships in Mount Kenya reinventing or bringing that aspect of the bottom person again, so that they can remember they don't have a kingpin?
Yes, it is in disarray. I think for the first time, the Mount Kenya bloc is in shambles, and there's so much confused. I would say that because everybody is saying he's a kingpin, but what I would say is that just like one of their purported kingpin, somebody who's also fronting himself to be a kingpin, and said they chose this pill, let the pill be sour in their mouth.
Okay.
Yes.
But that is just one who claims to be a kingpin.
Yes.
Of course, we would have names if we wanted to mention, people claiming to now take on Mount Kenya. Okay, Western Kenya. What is the situation there?
For Western Kenya, I've always called it the Western Union. I've always called it a Western Union. It's a very fluid.
We are winding up, Dory.
Yes, it's a very fluid region.
Yes.
Politically, and I would not make any observation today. For them, I would really talk about or discuss or look at the alignment towards the last year into an election. But so far, it's still very fluid.
No. But isn't it shocking you that they are shouting down their leaders like
Yes,
Bonnie
yes,
Khalwale?
yes, it's true,
This-
because
yeah.
in that context, everybody here in Kenya is feeling the pinch. And if you're championing for any position for this country, this government, more so if you come from communities that have been predominantly out of governments, they will tell you the truth. And that's what has been happening to Bonnie Khalwale and the rest.
Okay. Believe it or not, our time is gone. We have
Thank
to
you.
finish.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been...
Viewers, we are talking about politics today. Give us your views here on Science TV. We've been with Aaron Green, community development something?
Yeah, I'm a community development practitioner.
Community development practitioner. And my name is Jonah Simba. See you next week here on Chapa Siasa. Karibu sana. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.